And I'm live. Good morning, everyone, from West Phoenix, Arizona. It's just a little after 9 o'clock in the morning here. Then I would go ahead and do a live stream. Just leaving the house to run some errands, get some work done. Actually, I've gotten behind on a little bit on my shipping. I had a busy last, what was today? Tuesday. 5 days. And haven't been able to make it to the post office or FedEx. So if anybody here has purchased anything from me and you're waiting, I apologize it's taken so long. Just wait for a few people to show up here, I guess. Good morning. Or afternoon if you're somewhere else where it's later. Somebody just commented, "Good morning and positive vibes your way." Thank you. That's when I woke up this morning. That's what my goal was, to stay positive today. Keep a positive mental attitude. Understand that some things are out of our control, and the only thing we can do is give it our best effort. So here I am doing that. I have a probation meeting today. You can't imagine there's too many people here right now that don't know already why I'm going to probation meetings, but if you don't, I explain it over the last few videos and here on my YouTube channel, and I built a website called barredin.us, barredin.us. You can go to that, and it explains, just the first page of the website basically explains why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I'm going through some of the things that I'm going through. So if some of this isn't making sense to you, then you should probably go visit that, and that will help you understand. So anyway, I have a probation meeting today, and the title of this says important meeting at the federal courthouse, and I think that throws some people off. I don't have a federal case going. The case that the charge, let's see, the sentence that I was given was from the state of Arizona, and I went through the Maricopa County Courthouse to do that, but for some reason they have the probation meeting office at the federal courthouse. I'm sure it's regional. Wherever you live, you go to, the nearest place to you. but I go to my probation meetings at the Avondale Federal Courthouse. And that's why it says important meeting at the federal courthouse. So the situation I'm dealing with this time is when I signed the plea deal, where I really wasn't given a choice. I requested a trial, wasn't given a choice, electronically signed my paperwork, was told that the probation officer would evaluate me to decide if I needed to be psychologically evaluated or not. And that didn't make any sense to me at the time, and it still doesn't. And there's a reason for that, because he didn't evaluate me at all. And I told him, what the judge said, and he said, well, that doesn't make any sense. It just says here in the paperwork, you need to be psychologically evaluated. And so I actually had gone through I'm sorry I'm repeating myself to some of you that watch my channel all the time. I just kind of have to do this. I went through the process of researching psychological evaluators, got an appointment set up. I guess they're pretty busy. Took a while to go to the evaluation, and when I had my appointment, I was about to go, started the insurance thing, and then realized my insurance wouldn't pay for that, and I can't afford to pay for that out of pocket. A psychological evaluation with a private psychological evaluator is $3,000 to like $6,000, some I'm sure more, depending on where you go. And I just do that. So I would imagine that they have somebody that they would appoint you to go through and take the Minnesota multiphasic inventory and ask you a bunch of questions, spend time evaluating you and whatnot. I haven't been informed about anything like that. So the probation officer, I told the probation officer that I filed a motion with the court, and this is my motion right here. And you see that it was signed 12/30/19, date stamped December 30, 2019. And I've been waiting to hear back from them to see when I can go back to court to talk about why I was demanded to be psychologically evaluated when I was told in court that it's something different. So I have that, waiting to go back to court, but the probation officer basically told me last time before I left I had to sign some piece of paper that said that I have violated my probation, which by that paperwork, I guess if I didn't go to a psychological evaluation, well, I tried, I made an attempt, and I couldn't afford it. So yeah, this is a pretty sticky situation, and it doesn't really, I guess the point that I'm trying to get to is there are a lot of good people out there that are going through this system. And it doesn't really seem to me, in my experience, it doesn't seem to me that they are trying to help people make it through the process. They aren't trying to help families stay together. They are trying to do everything that they can, use every manipulative tactic to just put people away, have people in prison, have people psychologically evaluated so they're easier to manipulate and manage. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense to me why they're doing it, but it just doesn't make sense. So, and I've also been requested to provide proof of employment. Let's see, I can't show this. It's got my, anyway, I've got my 1099 here from my business. Here, I'll just, there. 1099 from my business, and so I'm abiding by everything they're asking me to do. I'm just requesting that things be explained to me. You know, why certain things have happened, certain things haven't happened, why I was told one thing and something else is done differently. So, let's see, there's 24 people here. I need to run into the post office here. Maybe I'll just put this in my jacket pocket. Goodyear police cruising by. Is it Goodyear or Avondale? All right, I need to stick this phone in my pocket, and I'll be back in like a couple minutes. Morning. What's that? Oh, okay. Right. Oh, like thousands a year. Sorry. Good morning. How you doing? Sorry, I missed a couple there. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. I'll do my best. Okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. Can't film in the post office. And I don't really want to turn this off. Somebody's asking if I have a public defender. There's one appointed to me, but they never answer my phone calls, would not speak up for me in court, and would not do anything that I asked them to. So I had to file this motion on my own, what they call a minute order, which I can do. So, yeah, I had an attorney. His name was Mark J. Victor. Paid him $35,000. He was gung-ho. He was on my side. He was telling me we've got this made. He was he's the firearms attorney, and as soon as he got my check, money order, whatever I gave him, they immediately started treating me like I was their opposition. And looking through the videos that I have a video of the whole incident from when I got arrested. A video of a guy brandishing a weapon out of his window, following me to my house. Me trying to get away from the guy, going through my neighborhood, and then getting arrested. As they're viewing the video and they're watching all this stuff go on, you can see the guy pull a gun out of his window, and they're telling me, well, it's too grainy, we can't use this in court. Why would you try to show us this? You know, and I'm like, because I'm trying to prove what happened here. As I'm driving away from the guy that followed me to my front door, literally to my front door, I got the stop sign in front of my house. The guy's behind me in some kind of construction truck with his rotator lights on, like he's a police officer, pulling me over. And I didn't want to pull into my driveway where my kids are sleeping and have this guy start shooting at me. So I drove through the neighborhood to get away from the guy. All of that video, and they point out that I ran a stop sign. My own attorney. And they just, it was like somebody paid them more money than I was paid. Or they're under some kind of national security letter contract with the government. I don't know. I don't know what the case is, but they immediately turned on me after they got my money. Just wanted me to sign the plea deal and go to probation, which I realize now is it's a losing situation. Feels like it. I don't know how many people actually make it through felony probation. I've never dealt with anything like this in my life, so how would I know? How would I know? And so I fired him. I realized there was no hope in keeping them retained as an attorney. Fired them. Didn't have any more money left to keep going with another attorney, and had to accept a public defender. First public defender I had, well, I won't go through the whole story, but he was pretty much worthless. So I requested another public defender, and this person gaslit me on the phone. I didn't want to spend any time at all, and apparently that's how it works. They do that with everyone. So I learned the law. I learned what rights have been taken from me, what standard operating procedures that attorneys usually sorry, I'm tired this morning. That attorneys usually carry out with their clients, like filing. Well, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Like reviewing the motion discovery. If you are arrested in a criminal case, there's something called the motion discovery, and that goes to both parties, the prosecuting attorney and the defendant. And I was never even told by my first attorney what a motion discovery is, let alone shown one. And apparently the attorney, not apparently, I've done quite a bit of research on this. When you hire a criminal attorney, they get the motion discovery and they sit down and have a meeting with you and interview you about the motion discovery and your side of the story, to come up with some kind of game plan to defend your freedom. And my attorney never went over that with me. I had to figure out, somebody on YouTube actually said, what did the motion discovery say? And I was like, what is the motion discovery? So I got that, went over the motion discovery, found a bunch of conflicting information, realized I needed the footage from the body cameras that the police had with them. And I know some of them had body cameras because they have body camera footage of them searching the mailboxes out in front of my house. When I was parked, when this guy followed me to my home, who was coincidentally formerly a police officer. Which again, I don't have anything against police officers at all. Just ones that manipulate the system and basically bad cops. Like James Comey, Robert Mueller, people that create weaponized systems to ensure the stability of their future and their jobs to create profit and control. So there are bad cops out there. There's some good ones. Just like in society, there's good people and bad people. Some kind of in the middle. I'm going off on tangents, I know. So anyway, I learned that I needed to get that motion discovery. I learned that I could do something called filing a motion to compel for Brady material or exculpatory evidence. And I kept trying to get these people to do this over and over and over, and they wouldn't do anything. They would not answer my calls. They would not speak up for me in court. They wouldn't do anything. It was like I was fighting against everyone in this situation. I was completely on my own, and they're guiding me in the wrong direction, which, you know, an attorney has they're mandated by state and federal law to zealously defend their client as if they were defending themselves. I can guarantee you that if these attorneys were in the same situation that I was, that they would be going about this entire thing differently. They would be putting some effort into it, and they wouldn't be looking for all of the things that I did wrong instead of what the plaintiffs had done wrong. Because they're all connected. And all I asked for was to be treated fairly, pretty much. Let's see, am I even on the right street here? No, I need to go over one. See, it's 9:30 right now. I've got an hour and a half. Good morning to all the people that are just getting here. I'm filming right now, doing a live stream right now while I'm driving, mostly because in my experience, the day that I have court, the day I have a probation meeting, the day I have something important that I need to get to, it seems like something odd happens. Like my battery dies, there's ridiculous traffic, there's something that impedes my progress, and tries to throw me off so I can't accomplish the tasks that I need to achieve. So that's mostly why I'm doing this. That, and I don't know what today is going to bring. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know how the process works. I don't know if they can just handcuff me while I'm in there for violating my probation when I'm trying as hard as I can to just get somebody to speak the truth to me. And yeah. So anyway, I don't know what my future looks like after today. Not sure. You know, it's interesting. This is January is Human Trafficking and Stalking Awareness Month. I've seen some signs around in different places, like In-N-Out Burger. Went in there, took my daughter to get dinner one night, and noticed that they had a sign up there, Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And United States citizens and citizens of other countries are being trafficked in so many different ways a lot of people that aren't open-minded would just discredit immediately, until it happened to them, and then they would start trying to figure out what's going on and become an advocate. And I have to admit, I probably, if I had never gone through this, I probably would have heard some of the people talking about this kind of stuff that I talk about, and I would have thought, are you kidding me? What, they do what? And most of it's true. There's a lot that happens to targeted individuals that, if somebody hasn't experienced this themselves, and try to explain to somebody that it's human trafficking, they wouldn't get it. There's some people out there that are heck happened? Missed my turn. That's alright, I've got plenty of time. So I guess I can go back to what I think a lot of the things that have been done to help us, that have been put in place, starting with Executive Order 13818, the executive order to end corruption, government and international corruption. We've got all these indictments that we've seen 8 of these indictments served that connect to the Clinton Foundation. All right. So only 8 of those indictments have been served that we know of, that I know of, and there's 140,000. And if those indictments are for the people that I hope they're for, then that would basically cut the head off of the snake and end a lot of the funding for the technology and the human resources that are being used to terrorize citizens. That's all about the money, you know, follow the money. Nice brisk day here in West Phoenix. Sky doesn't look too clean right now. We've got some stuff going on up there. Sorry, I'm not seeing. I see a lot of comments coming up, but I don't. Can't read them. I'm driving. Where the heck is FedEx? Oh, it's past this light. All right. I quit going to this one because they they were pretty rude every time I went in there. Yeah, and those are chemtrails. Sorry. We've all seen enough proof of that now. Had the former Air Force bioenvironmental. She was either a tech staff sergeant or a tech sergeant. She worked at what base was that? In Oklahoma. I want to say Tyson McGee, not McGee Tyson. That's in Tennessee. Some base in Oklahoma, and she basically blew the whistle on the chemtrails. We've seen videos of airplanes releasing chemicals, so that's not really a conspiracy anymore. There's proof to that. Just don't know who's doing it or why. We have theories. Let's see. FedEx not open. Wow. Got the curb there a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it on. Okay. Okay, I'm stopping and read this. Cheryl Lewis asks how the storage unit turned out. Looked like I struck all. I actually, it looked like that, and then I started going through all the stuff, and it wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. There was a slot machine in there. The slot machine didn't work. A lot of the stuff that was in there was broken or taken apart when it appears that whoever owned that, it seemed like almost like multiple people. They were doing some drugs, most likely some meth, And usually when you get one of those lockers, things are taken apart and ruined, and that was pretty much the case. There was a lot of things in there that looked like they were good, but they were broken, so I couldn't sell them for as much as I had hoped. And then did a garage sale this weekend, try to get rid of a bunch of it, and did okay the first day, and then the second day was ridiculously slow. And then I went to go take down my signs at the end of the day on Sunday, and 4 of them were missing. So I don't know who would just go out and take down garage sale signs. So, but it never fails. Whenever I do one of these things, and it hasn't been, you know, I've been here for 5 years. I just started doing this again recently to try to recover from some of this, to try to get ahead a little bit on top of the business that I run, hats around the world, my eBay business. And the last 4 or 5 times that I've done this, I have on eBay, I have pretty much average days. I'll sell a certain amount online each day, and with exception of like the day before Christmas, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, you know, stuff like that. There'll be certain days that won't be very busy days. And it's weird and coincidental that every time I've done a garage sale, the next 2 days after that are terrible. Just enough to basically subtract anything extra that I've made to try to get ahead and not even be comfortable, but to try to get ahead, to pay back bills. Somehow stays even at a pretty specific number for the month. Yeah, it's those of you that are going through this, that try to run a business, try to get ahead, you understand. It's a little more than just life happening. Not a little more, a lot more. So, man, it's 9:50. I thought that was going to take a little bit longer than I had. Traffic wasn't too bad this morning. Alright, well, damn, I keep having issues with my brakes here. I think I've talked about, no, I know I've talked about this quite a few times. Paid like $700 or $800 to have my brakes on my truck completely redone. New everything, calipers, rotors. And then all of a sudden my brakes started going out. And the timing on that is impeccable. They'll only go out when I am pulling up to a stop sign or getting ready to pull into a parking space. And there's usually a car right in front of me when that happens. And I've got to pump them to get my truck to stop. And I've taken them back in there. They looked at them. They said everything was fine. I looked up YouTube videos on my own, how to bleed your brakes, and tried to do that myself. Nothing works. I don't know how this happens, but it's pretty impeccable timing. Alright, well, I got that done. Let's see. I've got some time. So I think what I'll do is, oh, I need to go get a money order. I'll go do that, and then I'll stop, and then I'm going to answer some of these questions. Scroll through the trolls. I know there's a few here, I'm sure. I think I could use a coffee today. That last 5 days wore me out. Unloading a 10-foot by 20-foot storage unit pretty much by yourself. I got my daughter to help me with the second load. But it's like an entire house full of things. 2 trailers full. Bring it all home, sort through it. Spend 2 days trying to sell all of it, which I didn't. I've still got about a 10 by 15. Well, it's a 3-car garage, so one of the sections is completely full, stacked, 6 feet high. Still in there. I'm sorry, this is a pretty boring live stream. I'm not sounding like I have too much energy right now. I know it's not the most exciting thing to listen to, but I basically put this live stream on for safety and just to document. So here, maybe I'll ask this to the other targeted individuals out there. They get gang stalked. When you go to the grocery store, do you notice that if you're not really paying attention to what they're doing, when you get home, that some of the items that you've purchased at the store aren't in the bags when you're putting everything back? That happens to me quite a bit. It happened last night. Threw a pizza in the oven, one of the U-Bake pizzas, and thought, you know what? I want some ranch on my pizza. Ran to the store, grabbed a few things: ranch, milk, cheese, some juice, just a couple things. But the main reason I went to the store was to get some ranch. And I went to aisle 17. I like that number. Went to aisle 17, and I was next in line. And a lady comes over from aisle 20 and says, "Hey, I've got an open lane over here if you want to come over here." And I've done that before several times, and then I go over there and they play street theater skit on me, do something stupid. But I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. I thought, okay, whatever. I walked over there. She starts using direct conversation. And then when I get home, lo and behold, the ranch, the 2 bottles of ranch that I got were not in the bags. So I go back over to the grocery store. I walk up behind the register and I look down in the little bin they have whenever they have items that they've either stolen from somebody or forgot to put in the bag. They're in a little bin underneath their register, and I look down there and I see them both sitting in the bin. I said, "Hey, do you happen to have 2 bottles of ranch down there?" She looked at me like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd come back." So, got what I paid for, went home, had my dinner. But the amount of times that has happened is pretty much impossible. It's mathematically impossible for somebody to just forget that many times to put things in your grocery cart that you paid for. How many other people out there experience that same thing? Not just every once in a while, not just, it happens now and then, but like every time or every other time you go to the store. People that are targeted individuals. Let's see. So here I am again, back at this same store. Last time I came to this meeting, I pulled in this parking lot, went in to get this money order, and came out and I had a dead battery. I'm just sitting here waiting for this lady to get in her truck. Alright, so I'm just going to leave this on. Probably won't be a good mess around. I never thought I'd have to just leave my phone in a live stream on YouTube while I'm out running errands, doing my everyday thing, but this is just kind of the only option I've been left. Good morning. Oh, just need to get a money order. Is that the one that's not pre-filled out?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 70 bush, please.
Give our first card?
Yep. There you go.
7084?
There's 80. How's your day going? Yeah, so?
Yeah.
I hope it goes better for you.
Thank you. How about your day?
What's that?
How about your day?
Well, I'm wearing a suit and I don't really want to be.
Oh, I know you're heavy.
Yep. Have a good day.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. See, I got my mind on other things. I almost took off without that. You know where I'm headed?
Yeah.
Where? Jail?
Or- I hate those.
Going to the courthouse for a probation meeting, actually.
Yeah, I see your
Okay, awesome. Thank you
I
for
know
watching.
everything.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck.
All right, thanks. Have a good day. So, that lady actually is nice to me every time I go in there. I gave her my card one day, and next time I went in, she said, "Hey, I've been watching your YouTube channel. That's messed up what they're doing to you." And she's been watching, I guess. So. How's there 59 people here? I guess this is like reality TV, only it's actually real. Alright, it's 10 o'clock. I don't want to just sit in the parking lot here, so let's see. Bag 7053. Just reading license plates. Oh, this guy's going the wrong way. Oh well. Just pulling my neighborhood here. They just put this stoplight in recently, which is actually a great idea. Need the stoplight here for a while. Good job, City of Avondale, whoever is responsible for that. Yeah, as you can see, this is a really nice neighborhood. The houses are real close to each other. You know, it's one of those neighborhoods. But it's really, other than the organized stalking and harassment and the all the weird stuff that's gone on here, it's the nicest neighborhood I've ever lived in. When I moved here, it was still not too long after the housing bubble burst, and there was a surplus of homes. People were renting these out really cheap. I rented a 3,000 square foot house for $1,200 a month. And I've been here for almost 5 years. Tried to move. Spent the last couple $1,000s I had. Bought a piece of property with a mobile home on it in West Virginia. Tried to move, and then they held me up until it was too cold to go to the piece of property and work on it to make it livable. And then I've been just basically scraping by, fighting to just pay my bills since then. This is low battery. My phone doesn't seem to want to charge. Why will my phone not charge? The Jewel is charging here, but the phone won't charge. Maybe I need to go in and charge my phone. See, here's the pile of stuff I still have left from the storage unit. We got the rest of the garage cleaned out here. So I'm just going to go in and sit down and answer some of these questions before I go to my appointment. I think maybe I will make some coffee. This phone will not charge. I don't get it. Willis, I'm home. All right. It's an iPhone, so I can't take the battery out. Here comes Willis. All right, I'm going to go back through some of these comments and see if I can answer any questions. A lot of the reason I do this, too, is because some of the things that I've learned from people, because they have experienced a certain situation. And if I just talk about the situation that I'm going through, hey, buddy, what's going on? This is Willie. What's up, Willie? How you doing, buddy? What's going on? What's going on? How you doing? You want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi? That's right. Anyway, a lot of the things I've learned in my life have been by observing what other people have gone through, and sometimes that helps. So. All right. What's up, buddy? What's going on? What's going on? Bless you. Bless you. All right. Whoa, that was a good one. That was a good one. You got that all over my suit. Thanks. Hold on, man. I'm talking to these people on here right now. You want to help me answer some questions? Let's see. Sane Man says 360 cams are game changer. Treat yourself, Mike. I really don't have the money to be buying anything like that right now. Sage Woman says there is a law library on the web. Can you post a link to that in the comments if you're still here? That would be helpful. Thank you. Cheryl Lewis says we must become our own attorneys and learn as much as we can. And unfortunately, that is correct. And it is really tough to learn the law like an attorney would, because it's not something you'd use in your everyday life to try to just make it through life until you go through some legal issues. But yeah, DIY, do it yourself. Even then, it's tough because you have to have an attorney representing you unless you file pro se, and the courts really don't like when you do things on your own. They want you to be dependent on their system and their people. Just going through these. Tanya Bauer says, "G'day." Tanya Bauer is from Australia. She always says hi. Hi, Michael, from Australia. Now my phone is not charging. Maybe I need to end this live stream. It says I have 10%. If the phone cuts out, the battery died. I am, Sage Woman says you're just going to see your probation officer. I am, but there's some extenuating circumstances that I talked about in the video earlier and some of my previous videos here on YouTube. Somebody says, wow, U.S. road, you're on the right side. Yep. Alan Reynolds says, just make sure they don't place any more restrictions on you. I can't really control what they do. Preston Martin says, why do they make banquet meals so damn salty? Is that what they serve in prison? Banquet meals? Because that has nothing to do with anything here. Someone asked, how is the temperature over here? When I was out earlier, it was 50 degrees. Deborah Kovac says, trying to get you all riled up before you see probation so you look a little frazzled. That happens every time. Someone says, I look professional. Yeah, I clean up okay. I used to dress like this every single day. I owned a farmer's insurance agency. Had 2 people that worked for me. Worked in a big office with a big window. Had a lobby where the receptionist, yeah, so I had 2 people and a receptionist. She was more than a receptionist. She would process a lot of the paperwork. Do insurance-related things. And I'd actually hired her from a program called Welfare to Work that they had in California. It was people that were on welfare that were trying to get off of the welfare system and get a job. And I thought, wow, what a great way to help somebody get out of the system and put them to work. And then that program ended up costing me more money than it was worth. They took money from me. Didn't work out. And if I didn't micromanage her, she spent the whole day on her phone. Brian, too, how you doing, man? If you're still here. I just got a phone call, and I answered it, and the person just sat there and stayed silent. They wouldn't say anything. So, that happens. Okay, everybody, I think I need to check out here. Need to charge this phone and then head to my meeting, so. I don't know. Most of the time when I go in there, I ask for people to keep an eye on me. I'll do my best to, well, not I'll do my best. I will uh, tweet. I don't know if I'll make another YouTube video today, but I will at least uh, tweet. My Twitter is at Michael Barden number 8, not the number sign, just the number 8. And I'll let people know if I am out of there or not, and hopefully that happens. If not, then I'm not sure. Probably be a while until I make another video again. Then we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how the whole process works. I could be worried about nothing, but I like to be proactive and think about things before they happen. Cheryl Lewis says, Michael, were there tools in that chest? Yeah, there was a bunch of tools. There were all kinds of tools. Never seen so many tools in my life. All right, I'm gonna get going. I think this phone's gonna stop here any minute now. So, all right, everybody, thanks for checking in with me, hanging out with me for the last almost hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. I hope you all have a good day. I hope whatever you're going through gets better. Doing the best I can to advocate for people and try to network and communicate with some of the people that have the power and the influence to do something about this. And I'll keep doing that as long as I can. So wish me luck, and hope to all talk to you soon. Have a great day.